Okay, this is absolutely insane. You gotta watch this. You know how we watched the new trailer for Odyssey? Well, look at the Odyssey fixed. Goodness gracious, they gave it historically accurate armor. Oh, this is gonna be amazing. Let's check it out. And then I'll provide commentary. Holy. My gosh. Even the ship, even the ship. This is incredible. Nolan should be ashamed of himself after this. I don't even care. Oh, the undead with the bronze armor. Oh my gosh, this is incredible. All right, so I do have a few things to say. So, first and foremost, I think it's kind of funny that they just took the dendra armor, this is what this is, and just spammed it, like copy paste everywhere. You just get one, Control C, Control V everywhere. And when it comes to both this, so the little sort of cemetery graveyard on the beach, but also basically everyone has the same helmet, the same armor. Of course, this is not the case. So this was an armor that was extremely expensive to make. So it would be something that you see only on the richest, not the entirety of the troops. So I'd really like to say though, before I continue with my pedantry, this was amazing. Whoever did it, you're incredible. Like your computer skills, your editing skills. Fantastic. So any critique that I have is just for fun, as an opportunity to learn. It's not really a critique per se, because this is spectacular job. But I want to say, yeah, we'll get back to the ships in a second. But right, so as you can see, basically every soldier is now wearing it. I love the spear. Look at this. I mean, I would play a game like this. I would play a game that gives me this. Like, you know what game I think would benefit from this the most? Conan Exile. They do have similar sets. That's why it reminds me of this. Helmet is amazing. Now, clearly, the fact that every single one of them is wearing it is kind of weird. We should see it on maybe a couple of them, the really important people. And then the others should have a variety of all sorts of different helmets. And in fact, even the helmets, there should probably be like one of a kind. One that looks like this, one with the horns, and other people have simpler models that would be more realistic. Same here. And also another thing that I have to say about the dendra armor, we mentioned this on my previous reaction, you'll find a link in the description, is that this is not a foot soldier set or panoply. So the fact that they are walking around like this looks phenomenal, by the way. When you compare it to the original trailer, this is already 50 times better. But since we're going for historical accuracy, then at that point, we would have to have him dressed like this. Maybe this guy with the dendra if you want. And then these other guys, they should have either other types of armor, cuirasses, bronze bell, cuirasses, and that kind of stuff. And the helmets should have a variety. But as I was saying, this is not an infantryman. And in fact, it's not even a cavalryman type of armor. This is the armor that would have been worn by chariot riders. And that is because the sort of, you can imagine that the mobility in this armor, the ability to flex and move around is pretty bad, and it was really heavy. So the idea is it gives you phenomenal protection because you're a wealthy man, you're a noble one, you're an aristocrat, you're a warrior, whatever you want. So you want to survive, and you've got these relatively thick plates of bronze that cover everything, and they overlap. So this is going to be extremely difficult to penetrate with Bronze Age armaments and weapons, including arrows, by the way. But at the same time, you don't need to move, and in fact, the movement itself, you could, but it would be tiring and it would be awkward. So instead, your mobility is entirely relied upon the chariot as the implement that moves you around the battlefield. I love, on the undead, I think it's fine. Once again, we would need to see some variety. I love the mantles that are all destroyed. This is, in fact, fantastic as a choice. The other thing that I would have done, to be honest, this is really the best. The fact that they gave him a different type of armor, and we should have seen lots of... There are so many different types of bronze armor, whether it be lamellar, whether it be scale, whether it be partial plate. There are lots of different options that we could choose from. But the fact that him... Like, look at this. Look at this. Phenomenal as he turns around. Look at him. The bronze glittering. In fact, the bronze should glitter even more. But yeah, look, he looks incredible. Maybe this should go further down a little bit to provide proper protection. Kind of depends on the... Whatever, it's not a big deal. But this is fantastic. Fantastic. This looks like, as I often say, one of those heroic Bronze Age aristocratic warriors that kind of must have looked like God among men on battlefields. So to me, this is incredible. Now you might think, well, yeah, obviously it is. This is a massive improvement from Space Batman. I mean, what are we even talking about? What are we even talking about? This, to me, makes me cringe. This makes me go into, okay, this is so stupid. I don't care. I know that Nolan's fanboys will come in the comments and say, stop crying, while they cry in the comments for a difference of opinion. I don't care. You could be whatever you want. I don't even care. I'm not even necessarily addressing the ability or skill of the filmmaker as a filmmaker. I'm sure this is going to be fantastic. The music, the acting, the actors are excellent names. We'll talk about the casting, of course. I'll make a dedicated video for that. Today we're mostly focusing on weapons and armor. But yeah, this looks like shit. Like, I don't even care. I don't care. If you're offended by it, then it's a you problem and you're a snowflake. So with that being said, believe it or not, to me, this is not even a discussion. This is not even a discussion, guys. Look at this. Like, the difference is unquantifiable. However, believe it or not, it is a matter of opinion as well. And look at this. Also, I'd like to point out, guys, Batman. Come on. Batman? Really? Batman. Anyways, here's what I wanted to show you. If we go around X, this is incredible because some people are praising it. I think Michael says the Odyssey trailer, but historically accurate armor Bronze Age by Demon Flying Fox on YouTube, and creator who did the early AI Balenciaga videos. By the way, I don't know anything about the Balenciaga, but I will leave a link, of course, to the video so you can go check them out. This convinces me that AI will definitely change the game from a post-production fan-edit POV. Oh, I see. So they used AI to do it? That's annoying. I also do think the historic armor slaps. Yes, so as you can see, you have people that really love the historical looks to it, as like me. But there are people instead who are making fun of the looks of historical armor like this. I can't believe Nolan didn't use historical Bronze Age armor like this in his Odyssey. And that's so stupid because, again, the Dendra is not the only set. And in fact, it wouldn't be the set that I would recommend. We have already discussed this. But if we look at a website such as Hellenic Armors and you go into the panoplies, and even if you just stick to Mycenaean armor, there are a lot, like, you can't possibly tell me that this isn't like one of the most epic things you've ever seen in your life. So at this point, it's just cope. Like, people are coping because they're simps. I get it. You don't like this one, okay? I still like it, but I get it. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the helmet myself, of the Dendra panoply. So I get it. I do. But there are so many options. There are so many options that would have looked phenomenal. And at this point, what I believe is that if Nolan did actually choose to go with this, which was in the talks, he actually exchanged some emails with this Hellenic Armors, this historically accurate armor producer. There were some exchanges. If Nolan had decided to go this route, then his Nolan fanboys would have praised it. They would have said, oh, this looks so amazing, because this is what this is. But due to the fact that he didn't, and he decided to go with Space Batman instead, which is objectively, from an aesthetic perspective, the worst choice possible, they are gonna cry and cope about it. But I mean, come on, give me a break. Look at this. So no, it didn't have to be the dendra panoply. It could have totally been any of these with all the colors and the bronze, and it would have been fantastic. Objectively the best choice. Objectively the best choice. All of which leads us to this account, Nolan Archive, clearly a fan of Nolan's work, which once again it's fine, but he says, now I hope you understand why Nolan chose to stick to historical accuracy, lol. Now I hope you understand why Nolan chose not to stick to historical accuracy, lol. So, according to this guy, this is a downgrade. He thinks, oh, look how silly and stupid. Even the boats look great, by the way. The ships look great. To him, this is a downgrade? How? How are we even part of the same species? Like, again, I get it. Dendra, whatever you want. But it's still better. Even this one, which, as I say, I wouldn't have used this. I've just shown you all the other options that we could have had that would have been objectively better. But even if we went for this, it would have still been miles superior to freaking Space Batman. But believe it or not, there are plenty of people that look at this and cringe, while at the same time thinking, oh, this is so dope, bro. How? Once again, how do we even belong to the same species at this point? Historical accuracy looks way better, actually. Thank you. Weird how Troy managed to pull it off without a problem and without making it look like a Marvel movie. Well, yeah. Look at this imbecile. The past is always changing and often glorified. Nolan's version is spot on. Spot on? The grim nature of it. You're an ignorant. Like, these people just say that you like it regardless. You like it. You don't care because you like Nolan's work and you don't care about the accuracy. Stop twisting reality. This has never been the past. The idea that everything is dark, everything is black, there are no colors, everything is dirty, it's all false. So please open a book. Please open a damn book before you speak about historical accuracy or the lack thereof. Look at this. The accurate version is... how? At this point, these are just trolls. They are trolls that just want interaction. Or maybe they are people that are just fanboys coping. Fanboys coping. Even this one is actually pretty cool. Maybe the helmet is a little too... yeah, the helmet is too modern for it. And that's another type of cope, by the way. Once again, the Odyssey is not a real event. You clown. By using that talking point, you're not showing that you're smart and you're owning all of the people that hate on Nolan for no reason. Blah, blah, blah. No, you're not doing that. You're showing that you're a clown. Because, right, but it's a setting. It's a specific setting. If you make a movie about Superman, but instead of a muscular guy with blue and red overalls with the S who flies, you turn it into a space monkey, green like a frog, who can't fly but hops really nicely and uses a machine gun. That is not Superman. Make a different thing. Likewise, if you set it in the Bronze Age, but you use someone and you make them look like Batman or has something that is completely inaccurate, it doesn't matter. It's not a matter of historical accuracy. It's a matter of accuracy to the works. And then again, it's not 100% fiction. Like ancient Greek mythology is not 100% fiction. Like the War of Troy, for instance, did happen. Most likely did happen. Is it being dramatized? Have they changed things? Absolutely, of course, because it's a fiction based on a real story a lot of the time. But even when it's full-on fiction, if you are recreating the Lord of the Rings, but you remove the elves, the dwarves are now tall, there are no orcs, it's not a ring, it's a can of Mountain Dew. You could say, well, it's not historically accurate, right, but it's not accurate to the original works, which is an absolutely fine and apt line of critique, also because we are customers too. I can choose to buy the DVD when it comes out or to go and watch it at the cinema, or I can choose not to on the basis of I don't like it because they made Space Batman. And crying like a clown like a little baby saying, it's not a real event. It just shows that you do not want to hear your daddy, Nolan, being criticized. And that's a you problem. We love historical accuracy, and so we can criticize it all we want. Which leads us to another interesting point of discussion that we should touch upon. This awful meme. So what is this meme? It's someone who really loves historical accuracy, so he's wearing this historically accurate helmet, and they are complaining about the Odyssey, just like me and some of you. And he says, the new Odyssey movie looks so bad, it's unreal. And then this guy who's supposed to be the typical, stereotypical racist MAGA comes on with no arms and says, right on, why did they cast a black? Boom, and the guy destroys him, which is, once again, so many things are cringe about this. First and foremost, if you can complain, like me, about the historical accuracy of the armor, people can absolutely complain, and I will, regardless of this, I will. People can absolutely complain when a character is racially swapped, as long as they are coherent. So they complain when white actors or historical characters or mythological characters are swapped into black, or when it's the other way around, say Blade, for instance, has been canonically black as the vampire hunter for so long, then they cast a blonde guy with blue eyes. Then as long as you're coherent and you complain about both types of swapping, whether it be in fiction or whether it be in history, then you trying to say, oh, you're a racist simply because you have a problem with people saying, well, this actor or this character wasn't black, so why did they turn it black? And then you're trying to manipulate us by telling us, well, if you do that, we're going to call you racist. Call us racist all you want. You are the racist. You are the anti-white scum, and we don't care about what you think. So once again, yes, will there be someone who's going to use the pretend to care about historical accuracy, but in reality, they just do not want to see black people on screen? Of course they exist, but you cannot lump all of us together. People who love historical accuracy should never be afraid to critique any aspects of historical inaccuracy, whether it be a shield or a helmet, or whether it be a skin tone. And if you have a problem with it and you try to do this to say, well, careful, because we are gonna agree on the helmet, but if you dare to say anything about whatever the heck character, Julius Caesar, now they're gonna turn it into a black woman, and then you're gonna say, well, if you say that, I don't care, we'll say it. Oh, we will say it 10 times more. In fact, I'm gonna have a dedicated video specifically because people on Reddit have been saying, oh, Metron is totally gonna be normal about the casting. You will not intimidate us. They are the real racists, and I'm gonna call them on for it. In fact, I'm gonna start calling them bigots. They are the real bigots. Also, notice, it's always violence. It's always, if we have a disagreement of opinions, isn't that interesting? Well, this is violence. This is violence, not words. With that being said, that's what I wanted to say about this. Thank you for watching. Have a good one. If you appreciate my content so far and wish to help ensure my ability to continue to tell it how it is, regardless of any possible backlash, please support this channel on Patreon. Any support helps me and my team of academics keep the channel strong and gives us the means to fight back against the political rewriting of history. Stand with us, form the wall, defend the truth.